on the day of the secondary transfer window being closed in MLS, the Quakes made a very surprising move, and a move that I don't think a lot of people saw this one coming, and that is that they have decided that they are going to be selling Anibal Godoy to Nashville, and that the Quakes in return is going to get this, 650,000 general allocation money. Now, I understand that these expansion team, obviously they have a boatload of GAM and TAM to burn when they're heading into their expansion year. And we have seen before where expansion team decided to overpay some of the players that is currently playing MLS in order to secure their service into their team and able to play with their team in the expansion year. But I think in many ways when you look at this deal, this seems like Nashville completely overpaid for Anibal Godoy, and that the Quakes got a huge steal in terms of this deal. Because I think at the beginning of the season, if I would have told you that we can sell Anibal Godoy and we can sell him for 650,000 general allocation money, I would think that you are just absolutely crazy. And I'm not saying that Godoy is a bad player or anything, but he's just a very kind of up and down kind of player, and that, you know, this season I think he's definitely having one of his better seasons with the Quakes, probably have his best season ever since he arrived at the Quakes back in 2015, and I guess a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, this year, the Quakes is under Almeida, and Mateus Almeida has simply just made every single player on this team better than what they have ever been as a Quakes player in the past couple of seasons. But still, in no ways, I think he is worth that much amount of money, and because of the fact that he could be inconsistent, and that at times, one of the things that I'm always so frustrated about Godoy is that he sometimes had some very dumb kind of decision making where he either gets stuck into challenge that he doesn't need to do, or the fact that he just lose his cool, and that he's kind of a bit of a loose cannon at times when, you know, if he gets into a situation where the opposition is trying to unravel him, he easily gets unraveled by that. Now, I'm not saying the fact that, you know, I'm not going to say that the Quakes won this trade or Nashville clearly lost this trade and lost this deal overall, because at the end of the day, I never tends to judge a move or a trade like this that one of the team gets to be the winner of this trade and one of the team is the big loser of this trade, because, you know, the reason why I usually don't do this, unlike what other kind of media source says, that, you know, hey, this team won the trade deadline because they made so many moves and stuff like that. We don't know exactly if these moves are going to work. And likewise in this move, if Godoy tends to be an amazing player with Nashville, that 650,000 general allocation money price tag might be actually a steal for Nashville. But what I'm saying is that realistically, I think, you know, this is a big steal for the Quakes with the way that Godoy has been inconsistent with the team, and that Nashville seems to overpay a little bit, and that now with this amount of money, hopefully the Quakes would do something with this amount of money, and that this summer transfer window, the Quakes have been relatively quiet in terms of the transfer window, and that I thought we were probably going to get a couple more players. I mean, we did get a couple of players. We did get Carlos Fierro and Andreas Rios doing this summer transfer window, but those are the guys that we knew that they were going to be coming before the beginning of the transfer window. I thought we were going to get a big name kind of player, a designated player in our squad, so that, you know, it can boost our chance of making the playoffs or even competing for MLS Cup, but it seemed like that isn't the case, and that I also find out that we actually are kind of running out of international spot, and that we do not have like a lot of roster spot left, and that I think this is also one of the reasons why we decided to get rid of Godoy, because we want to get rid of one of the roster spot. And even though I don't think Godoy is actually an international, so it doesn't really clear our international spot, at least we have a roster spot available during the winter transfer window where we can do something about that. I mean, overall in this, I think the business of us bringing in big players and potentially signing the most important player on this team in the winter transfer window, that is Christian Espinoza, in terms of potentially making him a DP and buying him from Villarreal. I think the big moves is going to come in the winter transfer window than it is in the summer transfer window. And I guess the other reason why we decide to not really be buyers and not really make some big moves is because the team is winning. And I think maybe Jesse Fornelli is happy the fact that the team is winning, and that, you know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And if things are going well, you know, we don't necessarily need to bring a big name kind of players to really potentially, if he does not work out with this team, then we don't have an option in the future of potentially getting another kind of player. So in some way, I think this deal, you know, I know earlier this season there's been a lot of talk about Godoy potentially leaving the team, and that, you know, I know a lot of people kind of were a little bit on the fence of whether or not he is leaving or not. Some Quakes fans says that he should be leaving because, you know, I wouldn't say he doesn't fit in the Almeida system. I think when Godoy and Jackson Yu is in that midfield, that it has definitely looked very well this season. But at the same time, we also have other option in our midfielder too, and that, you know, we do have some young midfielder that is coming up the ranks and eventually could be some of the depth pieces that we have. So I feel like Godoy was just kind of an unnecessary spot, and a guy that, you know, it would be good to have, but it wouldn't be the worst case scenario if we decided to sold him. And that now, of course, we sold him and that we have this amount of GAM. Like I said, I hope we invest this amount of GAM and spend it wisely in this general allocation money. Like, there's just way too many times that I've seen this team, when they have that much amount of money to play with, they spend it not wisely whatsoever, and that they decide to get a random player in Europe and think that he's going to work out in MLS. Didn't work out, and that is a waste of our money. So fingers crossed that they won't do that again, and that we can use that maybe to add in terms of our attack, or maybe bring in a kind of a like-to-like switch of how, you know, when we sell Godoy, maybe we need to bring in another holding midfield that can take his spot. But like I said, I think we should have enough depth in terms of that midfield that maybe we don't have to really worry about that. What our first priority in the winter transfer window is going to eventually potentially signing Espinoza on a DP contract, and that we're going to buy him off of Villarreal, and then maybe look for another attacking piece or in the defense too, or maybe even a goalkeeper, considering the fact that, you know, Daniel Vega, he's 36 years old, and that I'm not sure, like, he's been kind of having an up and down season. We need a goalkeeper that tends to be consistent throughout our team. So yeah, that being said, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this Godoy kind of deal? Do you think this is a steal for the Quakes, the fact that they got that much amount of money in return for a player that, you know, was good this year but has been very up and down? And if you're a Nashville fan watching this, you know, all I'll say is that, you know, Godoy could be a very decent player, but just to let you know that sometimes he does make some very stupid decision where he decides to get stuck into challenge where he doesn't have to, and takes a silly yellow card when he doesn't really need to do that. So that's just my warning to you Nashville fans in terms of the guy that you're gonna get. But he could definitely be a good holding midfielder in this league, but definitely not. I didn't think that we were going to get him for like around 650,000 GAM that you of course pay us for. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this deal? And yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next time.